Happy Friday. Hope everybody's doing good. And man, has it been a Friday? I called and told you told you that. Man, I should have just turned around and came back home after driving an hour and a half. I mean that was a rough day.
Yeah, but everybody likes Fridays. Friday's the end of the
It is
week.
Friday.
Come on.
It's Friday.
It's
Tomorrow's
Friday.
Saturday.
You sitting here and you're able to do all this and you
And
got your
talking
favorite
crap.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all didn't know, Cowboy Preacher with the he's had that Trump hat on I think since January 20th.
Hey, listen, I bought this hat in Little Sturgis in Mississippi, Mississippi.
Yeah.
When Trump started the first time.
Yeah. 45.
Oh,
45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't getting rid of this. I wore it all during the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole time I wore that, I'd go out there and people it.
Yeah.
So
Cowboy Preacher got Bossman in the back.
Oh, look at him.
Yeah, he's holding up that snakehead trophy. Coming up the end of March, the 22nd on a Saturday. Actually, tomorrow at midnight is the last time you can sign up early for the snakehead fishing tournament. Go check out RB Tackle or Snakehead Fishing Trail on Instagram, and or go by their store in Margate, and you get it'll go up $10 after tomorrow at midnight. So they've been having anywhere from 60 to 75 people.
Man,
every tournament they're hoping to grow it a little more. So if y'all didn't see that episode, that was last night aired. Just an interview on their goals, upcoming tournaments, what they carry, what the snakehead are biting on. Just pretty good conversation. Had Urban Fishing Outlaws there with his new. I put a little short up on YouTube. The Phenom Frog that he just come out with. Pretty cool little plastic lure frog. Anyway. But that's not what we're here to talk about tonight.
Nah.
Yeah. You remember a while back we did a
couple of weeks ago or something.
We did a show. Before we go.
Yeah.
I forgot. Always got to shout her out. Okeechobee Rustic Company. It's listed below. This is one of their soy wax candles. This is I get her all natural laundry detergent. That's the Nouveau Riche.
Oh yeah. Let me say something.
Okay, come on, say something.
So you have to understand, my man cave is the laundry room is right off my man cave. Every time your mama or you open that door, that's all I smell.
Nouveau Riche.
That's what it's called. I'm telling you.
Man, you
so as funky as my man cave gets.
That's right.
I could break wind in there. I guarantee you, they open that door.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all over.
That Nouveau Riche. That's new money. That's that new money smell. New money. But she has that Stinky Stompers, ladies, for your husbands, your boyfriends, or just you yourself. You need to get the Stinky Stompers. You spray a little bit in your shoe before you put your feet in them. Telling you, it works. It eliminates that swamp butt smell after you've been working in the garden or working construction, whatever of the day, and you leave them boots. You remember you leave them boots in the truck, and the next day you come out, you're like, whoo. Man, what just died?
Yeah.
Something died up in here.
Buzzard circling up above your truck.
Yeah. So anyway, the sponsor tonight, Cabbageshack Artworks. That's the artwork right there for Snakehead Tournament. Do other stuff. I have some other things on there that I've done out of rosewood. Some seahorse paintings. It's kind of wood burn and painting, and 2 redfish and a trout on a big piece, and then The turtle's pretty cool. The sea turtle's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that's one of my
really
better
looks,
ones.
Yeah, that looks good.
Yeah. So I got a few more things we're gonna start trying to do. Little Lazy Susan display stuff, wood, and do the artwork on it. So anyway, let's get into tonight. The Cabbageshack Artworks does have this is straight out of Pompton. That's for you Pompano Beach people, sailfish. They still running a little bit, but anyway, straight out of Pompton. And I got Speculator for you crappie fishermen. I got the El Fisherino for you American bass fishermen. It's got a mullet with some cool shades on it. Yeah, they're just cool little funny hats. I got the Gulf of America Florida man style. Yeah. And anyway, all right, that's it. So, we did a couple weeks ago, we did a show on the qualifications of a wildlife commissioner. And we did our commissioners in Florida against Louisiana's commissioners. Now, and I will say, I started delving into, I wanted to look up every commissioner in every state across the country. Okay. So I've only got through 3 because sometimes it's hard to find because ours is FWC commission. Some is called wildlife something. They got different names, but I found a site where I can go to each state and see who the chairman of the commission. I'm just going off the chairmans, the ones that lead their commission.
Right.
So anyway, just the first 3, Alaska, Arizona, I think Alabama. Again, just like Louisiana, the one in Arizona, average 40 years of fishing, hunting in Arizona, member of all the conservation stuff, helps with the trout because there's a lot of trout fishing and stuff there. He's part of a trout group, but is a lifetime fisherman in that state.
So evidently, it's what we said about Louisiana. He grew up in it.
He grew up in it. He grew up in it. So again, I mean, we could delve into that again, but the qualifications and it's still coming up. So listed below also is who I been getting information from, and that's FWC commissioners on Instagram. I have it where you can click on it and go to it. And Beyond Florida, I've been watching some of his stuff and going to be diving in a little more on the Florida Council of 100. Thought that was interesting video.
Yeah.
So going back to our first one, and the reason why we did the comparison and qualifications was FWC commissioner had put together a petition, and when I first signed it was like 2,000, and I think because he was getting a petition signed to go speak because they only meet like 4 times a year.
Right.
Okay. So the 27th, that was Thursday, yesterday.
Okay.
They were supposed them and other people were going to be able to sign up and speak before the council.
Concerned citizens.
Their concerns on their unqualifications and stuff like that. And he had to sign, or they had to sign petition, and it is up to 5,000 by the time yesterday came around.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, all of a sudden I saw some videos he had put out, and we're going to listen to it was a story from WWBM News 13 or something. I have them listed below too, where you can go click on them and find it. But we're gonna watch the full interview and some of the people that were interviewed in it. One girl says the exact same thing that we were talking about, being in it. Why is there real estate developers, and that's all there is, not all, but most, on our commissioners, and why isn't there, scientists or forestry people, or we talked about that back and forth about ranchers. Why ranchers on at least one rancher on there, because they're the OG conservation people,
right.
And she even said that when they interviewed her. But we're gonna watch this, and then, but I want to, so beyond Florida and FWC commissioners, I don't even know if they saw my little YouTube channel. I mean, FWC commissioner put one of the little shorts on there, but on his page. But I want you to hear the executive director. I forget which one he is. I think I'm trying to think if he is the hospital guy or if he's a developer, Mike Rogers. Anyway, I want you're gonna hear what he says about it. It sounds like a little girl crying because people been being mean to the commissioners.
Okay, let me just inject this, folks. Look, I really don't. Warren has me on here, and I don't want to, as a pastor, I don't want to get into politics, but you have to understand that we're responsible, as citizens, of America, to have our country run the best it can be run. Now we see all the political mess now, of how Americans have been duped for so many years, money being spent, we're going into debt and all this. Well, it's just like recently in Florida, not too long ago, they tried to slip in a golf course, do away with a park and slip in a golf course. Okay. That's the responsibility of the people. To simply say, look, this is not what we want. And when we see something that we know that it would be harmful, we know that you can get overpopulated one area. We know how people are, and we're trying to maintain our heritage, same as any state does. And when we see something wrong, we have a responsibility, and we have a right as Americans to be able to speak up. And so when something that is not,
transparent,
it's not transparent, and all of this, and they say, just trust us. Well, and we're living in a technological age. You can find out something just like that. And so it's my responsibility as a good Christian, and as a citizen, to try to do the best I can for the state of Florida and protect it, resources and everything else.
Well, and you were a cowboy for, you worked on ranches for
10 years. I worked on orange grove. So we have a heritage here, and we can't just let people that say, well, I went dove shooting one time, so I ought to be on the aeronautics board. Because and I've hunted hog one time, and I've done this one time, and all of a sudden now I'm qualified to be appointed to it. So anyway, go ahead.
So we're gonna watch the video, and we'll pause it and comment and everything else. But let's bring this on, because I don't have two screens. I gotta jump back and forth, but here we go. Ready?
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commissioners wrapped up their 2-day quarterly meeting today in Tallahassee. They passed several new policies and discussed some key issues that will affect our area. But as News 13's Grace Veloz tells us, there seems to be a growing lack of public confidence in some of the commission members.
Making moves to reopen Apalachicola oyster beds, identifying distinction for the Florida bass, approving rule revisions for hunt preserves and game farms, and announcing support for the Gulf of America are just a few policies that have kept the state's FWC Commission busy. The February 26th and February 27th Commission meetings had stacked agendas, but there was still time Wednesday to warn the public on what the Commission will and won't allow.
So before I begin my executive director report, I want to just address one issue. It's an important issue to me and us. So recently we received some personal attacks on our commissioner's leadership and credibility and personal associations through phone calls, texts, and social media posts. While we work hard to foster an environment that welcomes a difference of opinions, we will not allow a platform that supports personal attacks towards our staff or our commissioners.
It's seemingly a brutal hypocrisy where FWC claims to stand on this platform of wanting to hear criticism and advice, and then they close today for public comments.
Nearly 10 months ago, a group called Go for Game started a petition to reform the FWC. The group shares the same name for their documentary focusing on the increasing challenge to protect Florida's gopher tortoise species.
People started going en masse to the public meetings and speaking out and then posting what they're doing on social media and directly to their faces saying to the commissioners, this is not okay. And the commissioners don't care because they are not, elected leaders, but other people do. And so I think a big part of it is just that social media has picked up on what's going on and people are no longer in the dark about what's really happening behind the scenes in the FWC.
Can we just talk about what he said? It sounded like our feelings were hurt, so we ain't gonna let y'all come in here and make our feelings hurt more.
Yeah, y'all have written us and text us and everything, some bad stuff, and attack. And we're just not gonna allow that.
Yeah.
Okay. So listen. I know there's trolls. You and I know there are always going to be trolls and always these loud mouths and everything. But no one else cares about the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about protesting something in Washington or anything like that. These people are concerned.
Yes.
Okay. They've gotten the technology to where they're learning about things.
Yeah.
And what they're wanting to do is voice their opinion on this. And the man says, we're not going to allow that.
Well, no, because the whole bunch wants them gone because they have no qualifications to be in wildlife.
That's it. See, and that's the distinction.
Yes.
They're qualified in their field.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean, and to me, as we said, it's a conflict of interest on some of these questions.
Oh, yeah.
Conflict of interest.
A lot.
So when you get that and people say, wait just a minute, isn't there a little bit of conflict of interest here? Oh, y'all don't need to talk to us like that.
Yeah.
We're not going to permit this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. Does your qualifications cause you hunt on the weekend or you do something like that? But you're in there. We're not going to allow that either.
I'm sure one of their things with development and these golf courses and the villages. One guy's the lobbyist for the villages.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Well, they'll say, well, we dig a pond. When we put some trees up, we dig a pond. And we put fish in it. We stock fish in it. But
see, we do what the environmentalists want. That's only like you go to a building site, okay?
Yes.
And they have certain requirements.
Yes.
You don't go over that.
No.
You do what's required of you to get your building built.
Yes.
So whenever they're talking like that, basically what they're doing is what is required of us.
Yeah. But we still gonna get it. We're still gonna develop this and get our money.
Thank you.
But we'll do this.
We will do
to
this.
Appease the Gopher games or Yeah. So anyway, let's continue.
As it's all public record, people just need to care enough to look into it. Petition signatures totaled just under 2,000 last month. In the last few weeks, it's almost doubled, totaling nearly 5,000 signatures.
Wow.
Some have attributed the boost to an Instagram account dedicated to bringing
FWC
exposure to the
commissioners.
commissioner's alleged conflict of interest. The Instagram account's anonymous founder explains why they started the account. The statement reads, "I guess I assumed that the people leading our wildlife agency were wildlife experts in some way. Ecologists, land and water conservationists, multi-generational
There you go.
something." The user goes on to say, "I assumed they were just as exhausted as I."
He said, I assume that the people who held those positions were advocates for conserving our state's natural resources.
There you go.
Was
Yeah.
probably more so because they were on the front lines of all this. The account gained over 10,000
And it
followers.
says at the end, it says, silly me for assuming. But I'll go back to Coach Newsom back in the day, 6th grade football. He gets up on the chalkboard and he writes assume, and he puts a slash, 2 slashes. He says, when you assume, I tell you to do something, but when you assume on your own, you make an ass out of you and me.
There you go.
Anyway.
Followers in less than 2 months, and encouraged dozens to attend Thursday's meetings to use the public comment portion to express their frustrations.
Yesterday with the meeting that they had, it looked like there were a lot of presentations from organizations, from direct researchers that have done the data, that have done the studies, that have done the field work. And that's great, but I feel like the FWC here, the commissioners here, are more of a middleman.
A last-minute switch moved the public comment portion to Wednesday's meeting due to some commissioners not being able to attend Thursday's meeting. The information on their website was never updated to note the switch. An FWC staff member says they tweeted about.
Oh, wait. So the meeting was set up. Okay. The meeting was set up for the public to voice their opinion on yesterday. Okay.
Right.
At 8:30. They switched it to Wednesday and didn't on their website, didn't update that information, but a staffer tweeted it out.
Uh-huh.
Well, not everybody's on X or Twitter.
I'm not on X.
No, I know. I'm on there just because I'm crazy like that. But not everybody's on that. So that is just a cop out, and basically saying to the people that showed up, oh yeah, we changed that Wednesday. Yeah, you can't speak today.
Yeah, listen.
Chickens.
Yeah, well, they've done that all these years. Newspapers. Whenever they get they require an apology or something like that, it'll be on the back page.
Oh yeah,
about that big. Ain't nobody read back there.
Yeah.
So that basically that's what they did.
Oh yeah, because of that opening statement where they got their feelings hurt. They, and we went through this on the first one where the golf course guy that's on there. Oh crap! Now I'm forgetting his name. Nicholas.
Yeah.
Jack that he got on social media because people hurt his feelings too. It's just funny that it's not funny, but it's funny that these guys and one lady act like a bunch of little kids because their feelings are hurt.
Okay, here's what I don't understand.
Yeah.
All right, you're getting these comments. You know the people are upset.
Yeah.
You know that they're going to challenge you. They're going to voice their opinion and everything. All right. On Zelensky today.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
With President Trump.
Yeah.
He said, look, to Zelensky, I know you hate Putin.
Yeah.
I know you hate
him.
And Putin is, all right. He said, what I want is diplomacy where we can work together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Zelensky ended up ticking off Donald Trump.
Yeah.
All right. It's the same thing here. Why, if you know that these people are upset with you, they've signed a petition, they've done studies and everything else, and you get your feelings hurt, why would you light the fuse and watch it explode. That's what they know. This is going to tick people off.
Yes, and you're talking about, dude.
Now they're going to really gather forces.
Yeah,
I don't.
I mean, Zelensky did that. Now Donald Trump going to say, "Hey, Doge, we need to look into all the Ukraine stuff."
Yeah, you're just feeding it.
Yeah,
you're feeding it.
Yeah, and that's what really that's what stuck out to me when I seen this clip, was that the transparency and not giving a crap. And I don't care. This should not even be a Democrat or Republican thing.
Exactly.
This is, and I tell people this, no matter that, out of how many Congress people are there? 400 and something.
I can't.
Out of that many, there's probably 10 that give a crap. 10, maybe. Here, it's the same thing. They do not care. They meet 4 times a year, draw money. You know, they get paid to be commissioners. I don't know what the salary is, but yeah, but and it's all a conflict. That used to be like when you were a commissioner for a city or a county and you had a job. I mean, I knew this one guy up in Alabama. He was a commissioner. Man, it sure was funny how he kept getting some contracts in his dirt business with the county, or find out about a project coming up. He just happened to bid it and get it. It's kind of like, you know, these Congress people that know something's coming and they put money in a stock, and then all of a sudden, oh crap, they made a lot of money. Yeah. So it's the same thing with these guys. To me, it's a conflict because they're developers and they're saying enough to trying to appease people, but still doing their
they're doing that until they did this.
Yes.
Now back, I think the 1100s, somewhere around there, was a queen called Tamar, and she was out of Russia. Well, she wouldn't put up with a bunch of stuff. She'd invade and all that. Well, one of the sultans, and I'm thinking of that one of the sultans was concerned about it, so he decided to write her a letter. Okay. Now he knows she has conquered all these people and all this going on. You don't mess with her. She had play.
Yeah.
The first sentence is, you're aware that all women are feeble-minded. Now
that didn't go over well, did it?
No. And then he goes on to say that if you invade, we want you to apologize and surrender. Well, she just got her men, went in there, invaded, took his kingdom from you. You don't stop. That's what they did.
Yes.
When they canceled it and made that statement.
Yes.
They just opened the doors.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, well, just feed them to a bulldog. I mean, you know, it just, wow. Why would you do something like that? All they're doing is just increasing. That's like, remember the gun sales went high when Obama said they cling to the guns in their Bibles?
Yeah.
And the gun sales just went crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's what the Florida Commission's doing right now with these people.
Yeah. Yeah. With all of it. And you know, I don't know enough about it, but watching FWC commissioners page, watching Florida Beyond, or Beyond Florida, watching their page, I'm starting to see some things, and I've even reached out to try to get an intern to do a little more digging into some things for me. But I don't mind talking about it because this is why I like where I live in Lake Placid, because I know what each coast is and have to deal with city life and all that.
Right.
And I come back to the center of the state where it's touched, but it's not really touched. So we still have the old Florida, still a lot of it in the center of the state.
Exactly.
Well, I would say from Lake Wells down, and then from Lake Wells up to past Gainesville.
Yeah.
And then once you get past Gainesville up, in the center of the state is old Florida.
Right.
But North Florida. We see old Florida as South Florida, with the ranch, the big ranches and all that. So now I'm starting to pay attention. It's kind of like, whether you like Trump or not, the one thing that has opened my eyes from the first time he ran, is how much these people do not like us, and it's opened my eyes to things that have been going on. And everybody knows government is corrupt, but what I'm saying is, by watching all this stuff and getting sent all this stuff, I'm starting to see. And then when you hear people, when they deny the people to be able to talk,
see, that's
this needs to be brought up to DeSantis. Now, some of y'all that are watching or anything that can tell me, because I don't know, is it my understand, did DeSantis appoint all of these, or did Rick Scott appoint some of them? I don't know which one.
And also one, I think one of the women almost like inherited.
Oh yeah, it's like,
so he was there like 10 years, I think,
or longer.
Like that.
Yeah.
So, but I'll tell you what I did notice, and I'm noticing on a lot of this stuff, it's not just the Wildlife Commission. A lot of young people are getting involved.
Yes.
Now that's unusual, because I know we've just gone through a generation, all that, but you see a lot of these young people are concerned about Florida.
Yes.
So, all right, let's see what you got.
Clayton says the red fishinator is here. I got to remind me. I should have threw that up. Remind me to show you the picture.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, let's finish watching. So there we go.
About the schedule change. They also mentioned it in Wednesday's meeting. However, the change left some constituents even more frustrated.
It's absolutely intentional misinformation. Like, they have a super clear agenda with everything on like the agenda and the exact Florida statute that it relates to, both for yesterday and today. It very clearly outlines today as the public hearing for items not on the agenda. It says it's supposed to be limited to no longer than 2 hours, and it tells you when you have to sign up by. If you follow the directions that they put out, then we would have been able to have an area for public speaking.
Gary Lesser is the Vice President of Communications for the Villages, a community known as the country's largest single-site residential real estate development. Gary Nicholas is the son of golf legend Jack Nicklaus and was involved in a controversial proposal to build golf courses in a state park. Sonia Rood is the wife of John Rood, the chairman and founder of Vescore Companies. The group of real estate professionals develop multifamily housing communities. Rodney Barreto is the CEO of Barreto Group Incorporated, another real estate development group.
Well, let's just talk, and this is something I want to dive into. Rodney Barreto, he is the chairman, and he is also part of the Florida Council of 100. That's the top 100 CEOs in Florida, and that's the council that dictates a lot of policies and stuff that move through the government, and they're basically a lot of development and capital people, and and this is why I want to dig into it, because they have an agenda coming up, and they've earmarked certain counties to start developing. And guess what county? One of them is
Highlands County.
Where we at?
One of the things is, you can disagree with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I ask you a question, I expect you to give me some type of an answer, anything like that. But don't dismiss me.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I don't care if you're CEO.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You're still a person just like I am. You're not superior to me.
Yeah.
And to dismiss them as if that's not, important. I mean, that we don't owe you. They don't say that.
Yeah.
But we know what we're doing. You people don't.
Yeah.
And that's an insult to
Oh,
people.
yeah.
And when you do that,
oh yeah,
that means that they're going to get even more stubborn than what they,
this has been building. This has been building.
Yeah.
So all right, let's go back.
Commissioners are in the automotive and healthcare line of work.
I think it's really important for our commissioners here in Florida, or at least a handful or a few of them, to have a scientific, like educational or professional background, or have an extensive hunting or fishing or, any forestry background at all, not golf course development or, real estate.
Exactly what we've been saying. Yeah. Thank you, Robin.
Successful, profitable development companies is by no means wrong, especially with the record-breaking growth Florida continues to see. But when a deal got approved to build a 9-mile toll road through Split Oak Forest in a 6-1 vote, constituents started to look further into who's in charge of making the decisions.
During the last meeting, when they were going to make the final decision as to whether or not it was okay for that toll road to destroy all that habitat, there were 42 people that showed up and spoke at the meeting. And one of them was for the toll road. Every single other person was against it. And they said, okay, thank you for your time. And unanimously passed it.
The risk is the future. I mean, if it's not a sustainable regulation, then it's going to collapse the entire ecosystem. Just removing one small, what seemingly small, cog from the machine will cause the whole thing to collapse. And I personally feel like we've seen it collapse over the last several years.
It cannot be stressed enough the public's acknowledgement of the FWC's staff and volunteers' dedication to preserving the state's wildlife.
The FWC employees, don't take it out on them because they're fighting the same good fight we are, as well as, from backyard conservation and holding on and the whole 9 yards there.
The employees deserve huge credit because the FWC does make a difference in certain ways. But the problem is it's run by people who are not held accountable, who do not care, and who are actively working against conservation.
Amen.
Which is insane because it's called the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission.
In Tallahassee, Grace Velez, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
I hear you, Grace. That was very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
but and they're right. It's not the guys that are in the field all the time.
Absolutely.
And what's crazy is one of the, I don't know if he's a chairman or what in Georgia that I looked up. He was a ranger or FWC guy in the field for years, and then he got appointed chairman. He was in it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we've been saying. He was in it. So
and look, I understand, and we all need to understand that some of these young people, as well as older ones, are over the top environmentalists.
Right.
Okay. They on the other side, they could go to the extreme other side and try to restrict everything.
Right.
Okay. We understand that. But we're talking about land being used for development.
Yes.
Okay. That's doing away with our with it. It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They talk about the environment.
Yeah.
But they're doing away with the environment when they bring in all these stuff. So, I have no understanding again why there's not a rancher.
Yeah.
Why there's not somebody in agriculture, a farmer.
Yeah.
Orange groves.
Yeah.
Well, no, I say because they're building, but a rancher and farmer.
Yeah.
That are one of the best environmentalists that you can find.
Yes.
Why they're not on the commission.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are all professionals that outside.
I mean, it is kind of surprising nobody from U.S. Sugar's on there because they're the, and don't get me wrong, they got some blaming to do for some of their stuff with Okeechobee and all that. Yeah. I get it, but they are farmers. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, they've been doing cane and all
I'm
that.
just surprised that nobody from
and that's a whole different world.
Yeah.
It's amazing that we talk about golf courses and this, that, and another, and whoever's to blame. And I don't ever remember in all of this anybody talking about golf course runoff. Canals and
Oh yeah.
And the GMOs that'll be sprayed on lawns and everything.
And that's what
the
first time. And I don't know. Look, I don't live on the West Coast. I'd love to get somebody from Captains with Clean Water on the podcast to talk about the red tide that they deal with, and it's getting worse and worse over on the West Coast. And but the first time I ever heard Big Sugar, when I moved back,
they called
the first time, and I was like, "No, wait now, all these developments with these pretty lawns,
oh yes,
and got to have that fertilizer on it, and all these golf courses." That's the problem.
Oh, now you're getting into my business.
Yeah.
Now you're interfering with my personal stuff.
Yeah.
You stick with those big companies. Stick with all that. See? But I still am amazed that out of that commission, not one rancher, not one farmer.
Yeah. And like we said, why is there not a wildlife, like the big plantation, the hunting plantations for deer? Why is anyway, I just it's just amazing that, I mean, okay, you can have a developer on there, that's fine, but you got to have somebody qualified in conservation and in wildlife.
Exactly.
It's Florida Wildlife Commission. It's not Florida Development Commission.
Like you take somebody like Matt Pierce. Now, Matt Pierce was the president of the Florida Cattlemen's Association. Right. Okay. And Matt Pierce was always posting about conservation.
Yeah.
On his ranch, he's always showing wildlife. Why? That's what the man does.
Yeah.
He's a conservationist on a ranch and a cattle rancher.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you pick somebody like that knows exactly what they're doing?
Right.
To preserve all that.
Right.
Oh no.
No.
Let's get somebody that sits on the board for the villages.
Yeah, that's that's what I need to make a hat that says FDC, Florida Development Commission.
Yeah.
That's what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
I guess I mean that's about it.
About it.
We talked about it, and I wanted you to see this news interview. I wanted you to see what they did. And that didn't give anybody. So everybody that went up there yesterday got up there and was not allowed to speak.
Not allowed to speak. No.
But we tweeted it.
Everybody.
We tweeted it.
Everybody up there ought to be on.
Yeah,
X, if you're not on X, you didn't get to work.
That's right. No, we tweeted it though. If you tweeted it, you could have gone and changed it on the website.
I still don't understand why they had now they CEOs. But they ain't got enough sense that they just lit a fire.
Yeah, they lit. Yes.
Yeah, I mean they poured gas on.
Yeah,
yes. What they've done.
Yes.
And you'd think they'd say, "Look, we got a problem here. We're going to have to come up with some answers."
Yeah.
Oh no, let's cancel meeting.
Yeah.
You hurt my feelings. I don't like the way y'all talk to us and what y'all accuse us. So we just cancel meeting.
Yeah.
Well, tweet that out.
Yeah.
We cancel meeting. Tweet it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now they are fixing to see what they're ticked. Now the people are ticked.
Yeah.
Because what they did was dismiss those people.
Oh yeah.
The commission dismissed those
They didn't want to see that petition.
No.
That signature.
No.
And
so they dismissed them, which insults a person.
Yes.
And they're simply saying we will do what we want to do.
There's a video on FWC commissioners where a guy got up there, I mean, almost in tears because of stuff they're doing to kill the freshwater industry, and his whole family, that's their livelihood for commercial fishing and freshwater. And he said, "Y'all ain't got nothing for me?" He said, and then one of them said, "We heard you." And he said, "So that's it? That's all you got for me?" And they said, "We heard, like got a little,
Yeah.
said it a little loud. We heard
We
you.
heard you. Yeah.
And that's it. Just like he was saying where the 42 people showed up, they heard them out and then said, okay. And then 6-1 voted for it.
Yeah. One person.
Yeah.
And the rest of them meant nothing.
Yeah.
Because we know, I mean,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying about dismissal and treating a person.
Yeah.
Like they're stupid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's what
we're
just gone through 4 years of that.
Yeah.
That you people are stupid.
Yeah.
We know.
The elite. Well, I mean, it's like most of these mainstream media people.
Oh yeah.
The mainstream news, a lot of them people make like $4 million a year. And they'll talk like, oh, I'm one of y'all. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. You get somebody to grocery shop for you.
I used to watch it that you sit there and watch television. This is the way they're doing.
Yeah.
You watch TV. It's live broadcast. Everybody's watching it.
Yep.
Then when it stops, then they'll come on and tell you what you saw. What you saw ain't what you saw with your own eyes. They'll tell you what you saw. It's like that reporter standing there with the riots going on behind him and the burning going on, and he says these protests are mostly peaceful. That was the biggest joke that you could get. So it's just simply that's the way it is now, and we've gone through 4 years of it. That's why people are upset with Trump, what he's doing. He's going to make mistakes. All of them going to make mistakes, but you can't just ignore what's being done, and that's what they want you to do. Just ignore what's being done.
Yeah.
Yeah. The news people, what you said, the news.
Yeah.
We haven't had news in I don't know how long. It's always says news analysis.
Yes.
That means that they're analyzing this, and then they will tell us.
Yeah.
What the news is.
What to think.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying about when you see it with your own eyes when it's live, and then they have to tell you what you saw, that you really, that really wasn't what you saw.
Yeah. There was a lot of that the last 4 years.
Yeah. And
yeah.
that's dismissal. It's insulting, and people got tired of it.
Yep. And I'm gonna end up getting more involved in this.
And keep me out of it, but
I know. But hey, seriously, I've reached out to somebody at our school that teaches and asked if there was a young person that wanted to be an investigative journalist. I would be interested in having an intern. If you are interested or know anybody, young kid that really wants to make a name, I'll start a blog that they can, I want them to investigate, to give me talking points, and they can write their articles, whatnot, to have a, if they go to college, they can already have experience in writing articles and whatnot. And so if you know anybody, tell them to hit me up on the boat ramp. Message me on Instagram or below. We have everywhere you can find me. Also, a reminder, I'm still working this out. It's probably going to be on Rumble, but we are going to start a new podcast called Crossroads and Tailgates. Already had
that's going.
I already had the first 20 episodes already determined. So just got to get some people on that fit those areas. But I mean, it's going to be talking about from barbecue to tailgating to politics to, hey, conservation, whatever. It's basically for us middle class people where we meet at the crossroads and have a community and build a community and
sit on the tailgates
and talk about all these uppity people that don't like us. But yeah. So hope y'all enjoy. Thank you for listening to us. Just I don't know, not whine, just chat about stuff that is concerning to us in Florida, and it is a big deal. Because I don't know about you, but I know when I put in a resume to get hired as a superintendent, if I'm a wildlife conservationist, they're probably not going to hire me to build that building.
I worked cattle for years.
Yeah.
But I want to be a project manager
Yeah.
for a construction site.
Yeah, and put me on that $30 million project. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how ridiculous this sounds. I mean, really.
Well, I used to watch these young guys many years ago get around and they cowboyed on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. They had a regular job, but they only get a cow. And they'd sit around and try to involve themselves in a conversation with a guy that's done it all his life and he's 60 years old. For 50 years he's worked cows, and they act like they know what they're talking about. That's basically what you have right there.
Oh yeah. Well, anyway, appreciate y'all listening to one older man and one getting up there. And anyway, I hope it was maybe educational and it gets you pissed off enough to there's a bunch of conservation groups on Instagram and whatnot, and go follow them. The two I've listed below, go follow them and start paying attention. If you want to see Florida be conserved and not destroyed with just straight up development and pavement, get involved.
See, I'm 6th generation. You're 7.
You're
7 generations. We got 6, 7 generations here that we've watched all this stuff.
Yeah.
And folks, people keep moving. We're not saying not moving, but I'm telling you, it's it's going to have an impact.
Yeah, like J.J. Gray said in his song about Loch Loosa.
Yeah,
he said, I like to go there and get away because they haven't developed it yet. And Loch Loosa, if you ain't been there, there ain't much there. But he says they ain't developed it yet. And that's what he is afraid of. That's why he sang the song Loch Loosa.
Could you imagine now Highlands Hammock?
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you really want to see the swamp and our Florida and if just come to Highlands Hammock, but just imagine somebody said, "Oh, we want to develop a golf course." Highlands can't see.
Well, they're starting to build a little bit around all that right now.
Yeah. And see, the thing about it, you can take your family. Might never been to Florida. You will see old Florida. At Highlands Hammock.
Yeah.
But how long is that going to last?
Right.
And that's why
we're talking about it now.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, we're done talking. So appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Like.